lest we inadvertently induce zealousness that is without knowledge. It's important to point out, before we all get excited about this and say we're going to go show everybody love and we're going to go out and enjoy the Lord, I need to make sure that you understand a couple of things. God's joy cost him his son.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Don't think that this is easy, that this just comes and always feels good. The joy of the Lord prompted the son to give his life.
Yes.
The joy of the Lord took his son the way of the cross. Don't think you're going to be exempt.
Yeah.
It got quiet.
Yeah.
The joy of the Lord costs people something.
Yes.
When your drive is to see other people do well, when your drive is to see yourself do well, it causes you to make sacrifices that other people think are unreasonable. It causes you to endure things that other people say, ain't no way I put up with. It causes you to find the strength to get up when you're physically exhausted and really don't know where you're getting the strength. Jesus was despised because of his joy and rejected of men. Being full of joy doesn't mean everybody's going to share in that joy. Yet he and his apostles were able to be abased because the joy of the Lord, because the joy of the Lord was their strength.
Yeah.
How did he put up with it? They were able to be falsely accused, tortured, and imprisoned because the joy of the Lord was their strength. They were able to rejoice that they were found worthy to suffer shame for Christ's name's sake because the joy of the Lord was for their strength.
Yeah.
This is why, and I love this passage, when Jesus was out all day ministering to a city of Samaritan outcast, he was so into what he was doing that his disciples couldn't get him to stop and eat. But Jesus replied to them, I've got a kind of food you don't know anything about. They got confused. Did somebody give him something to eat while we weren't paying attention? Then Jesus explained, my nourishment comes from doing the will of him who sent me and from finishing his work. That's where I get that energy from. That's what keeps me up and moving. It feeds me. It renews me. It restores me. It sustains me. When the Bible says, I come that you take my yoke upon you and learn of me, I will give you rest. Rest is, it means something that will revitalize you, something that will energize you. And so when you're laying on the bed and the alarm clock rings and it's time for you to get up and go study your word, or get up and go check on somebody, or get up and somebody calls you and you end up reaching over and picking up the phone and talking to somebody about what's going on with them, even though you've already worked 12 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours, because the joy of the Lord is your strength. When you've been running around all day long and somebody happens to need something in the midnight hour, you find yourself getting up and going because the joy of the Lord is your strength. When people don't appreciate the sacrifices that you're making and the time that you're taking on their behalf and spit in your face and want to act like they don't know you and become disloyal and talk about you behind your back, you're able to keep your peace and love them anyway because the joy of the Lord is your strength. Where did they get it from? How do they stand up in the midst of this? Because the joy of God, his passion, gives me strength.
Yes.
His passion allows me to endure. When the redemption of the lost, the restoration of the displaced, and the resurrection of the dead becomes the driving passion of a person, they find themselves imbued with supernatural endurance. When that is your priority, you would be amazed what you can pull off. You would be amazed where you can find reserves of strength, tolerance, patience, things that may not even come naturally to you. I got a secret for you all. I am not naturally that nice of a person. I am not naturally that patient of a person. I'd rather just sit off and be left alone. And if you get too loud with me, I might want to tell you some things. I might want to explain to you that this quiet exterior, don't let this suit fool you. Don't make me put my hands on you. I'm not naturally that nice of a person, but the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord constrains me to act in a way that honors him, lifts him up, shows them something that is greater than myself because I serve someone that is greater than myself. When disciples of Christ find themselves aligning their priorities with the Master's priorities, they find themselves stronger than they imagined. Within the joy of God, we find the rest that he promised. Therein do we find the ability to stand silent in the face of ridicule and false accusations when our instincts are to retaliate. We find the strength to pray for those who prove to be a perpetual pain in the neck or something south of the neck. We find the strength to bless them which curse us, because none of that needs to be a threat that requires retaliation. Rather, we avail ourselves of the strength that God has provided us to be full of His joy, that our joy may be full. The reason I can have joy in the midst of the storm, the reason I don't mind, even though you feel it. And don't misunderstand that you're not going to feel the emotional angst. That's why I wanted to make sure we took the time to explain the pain that the joy of the Lord caused some people to endure. But the reason that they rejoiced in the midst of it was because they were experiencing something greater than themselves. Yes. And we're looking for that expectation that Pastor McCreary was talking about yesterday.